Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin video. I hope you guys are going well. I hope you're having a great week so far. It's only Monday. We're heading into a new week and new possibilities emerge in trading in the new week, as obviously Monday Sunday's the end of the weekend. A US market opens. We're seeing a greater correlation to Bitcoin, as we discussed a couple of days ago. Greater correlation with Bitcoin to US market hours. I mean, in terms of volatility, Bitcoin's becoming much more volatile in the US market. It means Bitcoin's becoming much more reactive to the US market, and so we can expect movements on new weeks to a much higher percentile probability than we could before. So it's always been a thing that weekends are silent, weekends are quiet, but it's becoming more of a thing. And I think that's an interesting point to lead this video off with. And on a completely unrelated note, it was an interesting point, but it was a random point. On a completely unrelated note, we've got a very interesting chart to look at today. I have charted this up. It took me a long period of time. Identified this trend here. Saw a similar kind of thing on Twitter. Variated it, simplified it downwards, and I've got a very nice monthly chart pattern that indicates Bitcoin growing at a much faster rate than the S&P 500, but also in the same breath captures the correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 that everyone knows exists, even though it is dwindling in the recent 6 months. It is an interesting chart, but before we get into the chart, I'm going to leave a timestamp. You can skip to that part of the video if you're interested. Before we get into the chart, we do need to quickly recap what has happened with Bitcoin. I'll keep it short, I'll keep it sweet. There's not much that's happened, but there is a few things, okay? So first and foremost, Bitcoin is hovering above a yellow uptrending support line that is stemming from October 2022. It was retested multiple times during the start of the year. We're hovering above it. We're holding that for support, and we're getting clamped using that yellow line between that yellow line and the major resistance on Bitcoin at around 28.8 to 28.6K, right? Eventually, it's going to lead to a break to the upside of a downside. If you want to know exactly how to react to that situation, you can watch a video I made yesterday or the day before. I basically said that upon a breakdown, if we see a breakdown, which is more likely, I'm not going to get into why, if we see a breakdown, which is more likely, upon a breakdown, you take a short from the yellow line down to around 25.2K or potentially even 26.4K. And if we break to the upside, you'd actually be waiting for a weekly candle close on Bitcoin above 28.6K in order for that upside break to be fully confirmed, because obviously 28.6K is not just a random level we've been finding resistance on for the past 2 days. It is a level we've found resistance on and support on since 2021 January. It basically built the foundations of the low price of the Bitcoin bull run during 2021, 2022, and 2020 as well. So, it's a major level. We need a weekly candle close above 28.6K. If we get that weekly candle close, that is where you would stack your Bitcoin bag further. Until that point, we're looking for breakdowns. And if we do get that breakdown, you could get a nice short position, as I just discussed there. So we saw the weekly candle close. Unfortunately, yes, we saw the weekly candle close about 12 hours ago. Unfortunately, we failed to close above 28.6K. We've seen actually a bearish doji candle on the weekly candle close. As you can see there, very small candle body and an equal wick to the upside and the downside. This is generally indicative of a reversal. So it would not be unlikely at all for Bitcoin to see a price reversal, to see a couple weeks of downwards trend, sideways consolidation, and then break up later on in this year, potentially looking at like May, potentially even, June. It really depends on what happens. But, what we've seen right there is a weekly candle reversal, a candle there. Now, it's not guaranteed we break down yet. As I've said, I'm a breakdown trader. I'll wait for the actual breakdown, and that breakdown will come when the break of the yellow line occurs. At this point in time, Bitcoin is in no rush to move. It may look like it is because we've got this consolidation between this yellow line and the 28.6K level, and in that regard, we will be moving by the time that reaches an apex, which would be the end of April. But if you're looking on a longer time frame, you could actually say that Bitcoin is not going to be rushed to move at all, because it's actually got a bigger triangle formation on the RSI, and that won't be reaching an apex until like the June-July period. So Bitcoin really is in no rush, and we've said this over and over again. Generally speaking, what we're in right now, and I think it's actually very much important and very much worth noting, and I'll actually bring up a separate chart to display it right now. Hold on one second while I bring it up. What we are seeing right now is the first year of the cycle. Okay, 4-year cycle is 1 year up. Okay, sorry, 4-year cycle is 1 year sideways. Okay, another year you start to go up. The third year is the absolute bull run. The fourth year is the bear market. That repeats over and over and over again. As you can see, every single red year we've had on yearly candles on Bitcoin has been basically the year after the top. That's been the bear market. And the year following that on each occurrence has been a relatively small green candle. I'm expecting a relatively small green candle on this yearly chart. We're following 4-year cycle theory. Generally speaking, the year of 2023, according to 4-year cycle, shouldn't be that explosive. It should be a lot of consolidation, a lot of boring market, and vaguely upwards. We end up somewhere in like the mid to high 30k region, maybe low 40k. It really depends on what happens, and obviously depends on fundamental events as well. But you know, there are going to be boring periods in this year, so Bitcoin's not in a rush to move at all. I don't want anyone to get the idea that it is. It's not a countdown against the clock. It's not a race against time. 2023 is not an urgent year for Bitcoin. We start looking at urgencies when it comes after the halving. That's when the bull market's meant to kick off. That's when volatility really start to kick in. But obviously January was one of the strongest January. It was actually the second strongest January in Bitcoin's history. That was abnormal. We don't generally see anything like that. And so Bitcoin has made a pretty explosive start to its first year in the new cycle. And, you know, it's good to see, I guess, but it's not to be expected. So don't expect it. Just understand that, you know, we're in no rush here. And with that said, you know, there's not really too much to talk about left on Bitcoin in short-term updates. Before we get into this chart I want to discuss here, I suppose the last thing we can really talk about is actually the monthly chart. The monthly chart candle closes in 4 days. We've discussed the relevance of the monthly chart quite a lot in the past, and you know, I'll go over it again briefly. Essentially, we have 3 lines here on the monthly chart, and we actually get rid of one of them. We have 2 major lines. The green line on the monthly chart, as you can see, is 19.7k. That is a line that was built for the foundations of later support during the 2017 all-time high. As you can see, it held for support on multiple occurrences for about 5 months straight in 2022. We finally lost that monthly candle. We saw one swoop to the downside, and we bottomed out after that. That is a major support zone. We've also retested that monthly candle support, support, you know, for support on this current month we're in, which is March, and we've bounced off of it quite strongly. We're heading to the upside here. The second line is 23.1k, and that is a very strong monthly candle resistance. We've tested that for resistance on multiple occurrences, and we've just broken through on this monthly candle so far. What we are looking for, the reason why I'm telling you this, is because in 4 days the monthly candle closes, and provided we close the monthly candle above 23.1k, which it looks like it's very likely to do unless we see a 20 to 30% drop in the next 4 days, that's very good for the macro, right? Because that's a break above a monthly candle resistance. Okay, and it will give us the macro momentum to move to the upside. So every single thing I've looked at on Bitcoin in recent weeks, in recent months, has been indicating that Bitcoin's bottom is in. I've been saying that since 16k. We bought at 18k and we bought at 21k. We have an average price of Bitcoin around the lower 19k region. Everything I've said has reflected what I've seen to be fundamentally true, and that is that the Bitcoin bottom is in. What we are seeing now are the final steps of confirming that theory, and the final step to confirm that theory will be a weekly candle close above 28.6k, but again, there's no rush for that to happen. So now that we've said all of that, we've said everything we need to say about Bitcoin on the weekly chart, on the monthly chart, daily chart, we can get into this unique chart that I've charted up, you know, going over Bitcoin in relation to S&P and going over a very interesting trend we have on the monthly chart RSI. But before we do that, I hate to cut you off. I want to talk about a couple of things. Firstly, I want to talk about the Bitget exchange. If you're not familiar with what the Bitget exchange is, it is an exchange that I personally use for trading. I've used for over a year. It's got 5 times lower fees than Binance. It's non-KYC, and I highly recommend everyone who watches the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel, and specifically who is a VIP member with the Wolves of Crypto channel, goes ahead and signs up to this exchange. Using my exclusive referral link, you will get a 15% discount on trading fees for life. That is big stuff there. Go ahead and do that. It's the best way to help the channel, best way to help yourself as a trader. Get off of Binance, for God's sake. I don't know how many times I need to tell people that exchange is a mess. All right, I've had many, you know, terrible personal experiences with Binance in the past, specifically regarding currency rates, currency fees, and currency rates from AUD to USD. It has been a joke, and I've lost thousands of dollars through using that conversion tool there, which is an error on Binance's behalf. But go ahead and sign up to Bitget. Great exchange. Highly recommend you use it. Use my referral link. So there we go, and we'll jump back into the video with that said. So this is going to be an interesting one to try and dissect. I'm going to be quite honest with you. It's quite a complicated chart, and it probably looks complicated. There's a lot of colors, a lot of lines, but ultimately, I'm going to break it down very simply. If you want to pause the video, you can, and just read it, because you can probably understand it pretty well by reading it, but I'll explain it to you very simply. What we have here is the Bitcoin monthly chart. In the orange line you see on the screen is the S&P 500 monthly price line. Down the bottom, we have the RSI. We have a yellow moving average on the RSI. That moving average is the 14-month moving average on the RSI. So 14-month moving average on the RSI. We've got the RSI itself, we've got the S&P 500 price chart, and we've got the Bitcoin price chart. Now, when the yellow line, okay, I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. When the RSI line breaks above the yellow moving average, that is what we call a bullish moving average cross, okay? And that puts Bitcoin and the S&P into a parabolic phase, okay? Now, when the reverse happens, when the RSI line moves below the yellow line, as you can see in the red circles here, that is a bearish MA cross, and that puts Bitcoin and the S&P into a red or more bearish phase, okay? So I've crossed out COVID, doesn't count, because COVID was a mess due to black swan events, and I've crossed out the infantile stage of Bitcoin. Now, this is a stage in which Bitcoin was too small to have any real effect, or the S&P rather was too small to have any real effect on Bitcoin. So again, yellow circle equals bullish cross, red circle equals bearish cross. As you can see, we saw a bullish cross here in September 2015. We did not see a bearish cross until December 2017. That means in this entire price period, right, this yellow square here, this first one, we were experiencing the effects of a bullish cross on the monthly chart RSI with the 14 moving average. During this period of time, Bitcoin gained 5,700% in price. During that period of time, the S&P 500 gained 49%. We then had a red phase, okay? We had a bearish cross and we had a red phase from 2017 December to around April 19, okay? To April 2019. We saw Bitcoin lose 79%. We saw the S&P gain 10%, but mostly sideways from the S&P. In fact, a 10% gain on the S&P over a 2-year period is very bad, very minimal. So that was a red phase for the S&P as well. The trend continues, and you can read the data here. I'm not going to go every single cross, but the main point I'm trying to make here is this. Bitcoin is growing exponentially in comparison to the S&P 500. Every single green phase we go into, Bitcoin is having more gains, and every single red phase, yes, Bitcoin is having more red, but the red is not taking out as much in comparison to the green. I don't know if that makes sense, but if Bitcoin gains 5,700% and loses 79%, that's not bad, no matter what the S&P 500 does, and that's Bitcoin gaining on the S&P, no matter what the S&P 500 does. Now, this is obvious because Bitcoin has a much lower market cap, and especially it did in the past, and so obviously gains are going to be less amplified now. But the point of the matter is, Bitcoin is gaining on the S&P 500, it's gaining on it very fast, and it's growing very exponentially over a logarithmic scale. Also, I know that's pretty obvious. People knew that without looking at this chart. But another reason I want to look at this chart is because Bitcoin has just seen in the last month on February's close, so 28 days ago, we have just seen another bullish cross on the monthly chart RSI with the 14 moving average. Historically, this has led to gains of 5,700%, 228%, 550%, and we don't know what it's going to lead to this time, but it's going to be bloody good. So that's great to see as well. And with that note, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to track this chart in future videos. I'm going to track this chart when we see the monthly channel close. I'm going to be tracking it. I'm going to be analyzing this data, trying to find averages and trying to project price points based off of that. But for this video, I just wanted to introduce the chart to you so you're familiar with it. And so when I bring it up in further videos, perhaps everyone who watches this channel daily or sub-daily will be, they'll understand it to a little bit of a more extent, a further extent, and then I can, expand on that and create predictions based off of it. But it's amazing to see this trend, and it's amazing to see Bitcoin seeing another bullish cross here. Again, another piece of evidence that further indicates that the Bitcoin bottom is in. You don't just see bullish crosses on the monthly chart RSI with the 14 moving average without anything happened. Again, I'll repeat with you, the 3 times this has happened in the past, 5,700% gain, 228% gain, and 550% gain. To be macro bearish at this point with all this stuff going on, you get the point. It doesn't seem logical. So it's great to see that monthly cross there. I had a little pause there because I was trying to find a word to say, but I don't want to just completely discount the bearish argument. Of course, I want people to tell me what they think about Bitcoin in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe, all that stuff. Before we end the video, check out the Crypto Academy course. If you want to learn how to trade, you want to learn how to analyze trends, you want to learn how to analyze indicators, market patterns, whatever it may be, in a similar fashion to the way I do it, you can check out this Crypto Academy, Become a Trader 10-unit course developed by myself and Megawell Crypto, who's a fellow analyst in the cryptocurrency space. You can find his YouTube channel by typing up the Megawell Crypto on YouTube. Very good analyst. Highly recommend you check him out. Check out this course as well. It's in the description below. And finally, guys, the VIP group. If you want to trade altcoins with me sub-daily, make some money on altcoins, you can do so. 100 USD for 3 months. All the information on that is in the description and in the pinned comment there will be information on that as well. So go ahead and check out all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you tomorrow in the next one. Cheers.